right, so I just want to start off by saying this is something that's very important to me right now, and it's always been important to me, but right now I feel like it's more of a pressing issue, something that we need to look at as African American community, black race, whatever you like to call yourself, but you know who I'm talking to right now. We need to, as a people, get prepared for a worst case scenario. Um, in the prepping community, they call it shit hitting the fan. And the shit is already started to hit the fan, and I think that I don't see in the near future it not, it's getting better. I really feel like it's something that we really need to take heed to, and there's a lot of good resources out there that can teach you how to prepare in a worst case scenario, in a catastrophic situation. And was three things that I think that we all need to really think about. I would not suggest looking at home defense first. And now I know this is going to be kind of controversial, even to say, but stockpiling weapons, ammunition, and all of these things aren't gonna really sustain your life. I mean, it'll give you the ability to protect yourself, but if you're starving and your family's starving, then what are you protecting? Like, those can be a double-edged sword, because now you have these things and you're prepared to go out and take from other people that look like you, and other people in your same situation, in the same boat, and that gets you absolutely nothing. It's perpetuating the instant gratification ideology that a lot of black people have been kind of brainwashed into believing in. It's the extension, the long arm of capitalism. And we, as black people, are the consumer. And so, as opposed to consuming things that have absolutely nothing to do with your extended life, and it has more to do with your immediate life, I think that it would be wiser, it would behoove us all to start thinking about purchasing things that have a longer stretch when it comes to life and living. Okay, now this video post is really just to kind of get people thinking, get people talking. I want you to take these couple questions, and I want you to just mull it over in your head in your day to day. First off, I want you to think about your geographical location. I want you to think about, what is it in your immediate area that nature provides? What could you eat? Do you have a water source? Do you have the ability to heat and cool, well, particularly heat your home? Do you have a sustainable food source? Okay? In other words, can you go out and actively hunt or trap so that you can feed yourself and your family? If the answer is no to any of these things, then you should really start thinking about preparing. Because in a worst case scenario, your wallet is useless. Your bank account is useless. Your money is completely useless. It takes 3 days to clear out the shelves in any store. And when I say clear out, I'm talking about all the way down to the things that's not even really super necessary, like razors and, straight razors and stuff like that. It's the stuff that you look at in the supermarket and you're like, I don't buy that. All of it will be gone, okay? So that's 3 days. What do you do after? What do you do after you use up all of the supplies in your house? What do you do then? What? What do you do when your child is crying because they're so hungry and there's no food to be had? What do you do? Well, as a man or a woman, you venture out and then you try to find it. But if your area doesn't have naturally occurring, replenishable natural resources, then you're not going to be able to find it, and you'll resort to stealing, robbing, killing, and looting. And that only goes so far. Initially, there'll be a mass exodus, and a lot of people will leave. The question is, black people, where do you go? Where do you go? If we learned anything from Katrina, it's that wherever they tell you to go may not be better than your present situation in a way. And that was just a very isolated incident that should keep us thinking. Never, ever forget Hurricane Katrina. Never forget it, because we saw on a national stage what happened to the black community and when disaster struck. You don't want to be that person. You don't want your family to be that person. So think about it. It's just 3 things to think about, you know? And really take a personal accountability of what it is you do and how it is that you do it. Because at the end of the day, we only have each other as a human race. This is going out to black people primarily because I've noticed in my decade or so of prepping and researching and just kind of getting prepared for what could happen, I noticed that it's very few black people or poor people. I'm not even going to say black people, but I'm talking directly to black people because I'm black, obviously, and this is something that I really need us to think about. But as in poverty in itself, is poor people do not prepare. And it's really very, very simple to do. It's very simple to do. It's very easy to do, and it's very cost effective. Because in the worst case scenario, if you have 30 days worth of food saved and stored, and I'm not talking about the processed, you know what I'm saying, super flavorful, cheesy snacks, fried thing. I'm not talking about that. Let's just keep it real simple, and we're going down to the beans and the rice and the grains, the whole grains, you know what I'm saying, things that can be stored for a long time, even canned goods. You got 30 days worth of that, and you're just sitting on it, and Lord willing, absolutely nothing happens. Well, you just got 30 days of eating right there. I mean, it's never a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. Water, if you properly learn how to store water over a long period of time, or even just funneling the water off your roof, your gutters, and putting it into some type of catchment system. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, so nothing catastrophic happens in 10, 20, 30 years. In your lifetime. In your life, nothing happens at all. What's the worst that can happen? Well, you got some rainwater collected and you water your garden. And you save yourself a couple bucks on your water bill. Right? What's the worst that can happen? Teaching your children how to be prepared in a worst case scenario. So it don't happen in your lifetime, but it happens in theirs. But now they're ready. Now they have a mentality, a mindset on how to overcome this type of adversity. They have the skills that nobody could ever take away from them, of what in that urban environment is wild edibles. What are other things useful and used for? This mentality is not a crackpot, kooky, fatalistic, conspiracy theorist, pessimistic point of view. It's just common sense. That's all it is. And I'm saying this because I'm so passionate about this, and I'm so scared for what would happen. You understand? I don't want to get into, the camps and stuff like that, but they don't build them to hold a maximum capacity of bodies without the ideology of filling it to its maximum capacity. Who's going to be in there? Who? Who's going to be in there? Who's going to need that particular type of shelter in the worst case scenario? You understand? Don't imprison yourself on purpose. You need to be able to stick it out as long as you possibly can. As long as you possibly can. On your own and off of Mother Nature. Because one thing is for sure and two things is for certain. God, Mother Nature, the universe, whatever you want to call it, will always provide everything that we have in our life that we deem necessary or valuable. It all comes from Mother Nature first. It comes from there first. Not secondly. We as humans have never, ever, since the dawn of time, created anything that nature couldn't replicate. And I defy you to find something that it is that we did that nature has not already created. And when I say nature, I'm talking about on the whole. I'm talking about the whole universe. I'm talking about our Earth and all of the planets in our solar system that's revolving around this beautiful star called the sun. There's nothing that we can create that Mother Nature has not already given us. So learn. Even in your urban environment, learn what it is that nature has to offer. It's there. Like I said, it's plenty of information out there on the internet, okay? Everything that you read is not true, but as adults or young adults, you should be able to discern what's real and what's not. Get this information and commit it to memory just in case. What's the worst that could happen? Now you know. Peace.